Yesterday, around 8 p.m. Eastern Time, reports said that 500 active duty Marines were prepared to deploy. Marines? What? Prepared to deploy for what? Meanwhile, at 12:16 this morning, Trump posted this on Truth Social, though it's truly unclear which troops that he's even referring to. Let me show you what he says. In it, he turns around and he says, looking really bad in LA. Bring in the troops. Okay, there you have it. But last night, he posted this, attacking Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Bass. Let me show you what he says. In it, he turns around and he goes, Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass should apologize to the people of Los Angeles for the absolutely horrible job that they have done. And this now includes the ongoing LA riots. These are not protesters. They are troublemakers and insurrectionists. Remember, no masks. Look, let me also turn around and say, the man clearly doesn't understand the distinction between a protest, people who are holding up signs, and rioters. There's no breaking into property. There's no insurrection going on. Meanwhile, around the same time, Newsom was on MSNBC speaking about what is happening in LA. Now, the reporter asked Newsom how he found out. Imagine this, the governor of California, how he found out that Trump was going to deploy the National Guard. Play the clip.
Today. This is your authority normally to deploy the National Guard here. Right. You did it. We were together after the fires, and those National Guard troops have been out all across Los Angeles working to rebuild and recover this city. How did you find out that the President of the United States was going to usurp your authority and deploy your National Guard here in California?
I got a call from a staffer. No heads up whatsoever. And again, we're here to support local law enforcement. There's a mutual aid process. Local law enforcement had no needs. They were not requesting any additional resources. I've got 100 now. I have 175 CHP officers, technically trained officers, tactical teams to address Donald Trump's mess. We are here to support local law enforcement, the sheriff's office, LAPD, but they didn't need that support. He made this up. This is a manufactured crisis in order to get under the tent to start to stretch credulity and to begin the process of moving inevitably towards a constitutional questioning crisis around posse comitatus. And it's, I think, inevitable. That's where he's going.
Tom Homan.
It's exactly what I said on MSNBC this entire weekend. Meanwhile, Newsom said that he is planning to sue Trump because there was no united coordination. Play that clip.
Ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard, an illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act, and we're going to test that theory with a lawsuit tomorrow.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Sorry to interrupt you, but Governor, so that's news. If you're going to sue the administration, tell me a little bit about it. Give us a preview of this lawsuit.
Well, under his executive order, it specifically notes, and under what the DOD did, is they had to coordinate with the governor of the state. They never coordinate with the governor of the state.
No, especially not if the governor of the state is Gavin Newsom, somebody who Trump believes will be running in 2028, right? It's all to just knock everybody down, whether it's the name calling Newsom or just simply not even letting the governor know what you're doing in a state that the governor has total control over. I mean, this is a constitutional crisis in the making. Now, Newsom goes on and explains that this situation is about Trump's authoritarian tendencies. Play that clip.
All of this is about immigration enforcement and the type of well, go ahead, feel free to
say. I know. I don't mean even to cut you off. I think it's about something much more. This is about authoritarian tendencies. This is about command and control. This is about power. This is about ego. my way or the highway. This is a consistent pattern of practice, of recklessness. This guy has abandoned the core principles of this great democracy. He's threatening to go after judges he disagrees with, cut off funding to institutions of higher learning. He's on a cultural binge. He's rewriting history, censoring historical facts. I mean, this is something completely different. And this is part of that ongoing play that is unfolding in front of our eyes. It is a serious moment under the guise of immigration, but it's much deeper than that.
Oh, yeah, it is much deeper. I keep saying that this whole thing is orchestrated by Trump. I wrote about it in my Substack, LA Mayhem. Let me be very clear. This is all to distract the American people, in my opinion, from the fight that Trump is having with Elon Musk, all the way to his authoritarian tendencies, just as Governor Newsom was saying. Meanwhile, Trump had claimed in a tweet that everything is safe now. Oh, again, thanks to Trump, everything is safe now. Of course, Governor Newsom, he disagrees. Play the clip.
Law enforcement, but there's a protocol, there's a process. He didn't care about that. And the worst part, he completely lied. He said in a tweet that everything's now safe, everything's fine. Is that the case, Mr. Trump? He said because he deployed the National Guard. The Guard hadn't even been deployed when he said this. It's Orwellian, simply lying to people. Unconstitutional, illegal act, his mess. We're trying to clean it up.
Listen, when this information comes out, it's going to be fucking devastating. Meanwhile, Newsom also said that there is no working with the president, especially after a phone call that they had. Play that clip.
Continues to, as always, hit you hard publicly. Just 10 minutes ago, he put out another Truth Social telling you and the mayor to apologize to the people of Los Angeles. You guys go at it pretty hard publicly, but I know you talk privately. Have you spoken in the last couple of days to the president about any of this?
Yeah, we talked for almost 20 minutes, and this issue never came up. I mean, I kept trying to talk about LA. He wanted to talk about all these other issues. We had a very decent conversation.
When was this?
This was late Friday night, I think about 1:30 plus his time.
After the protests had started here.
After the protests, and he never once brought up the National Guard. He's a stone cold liar. He said he did. Stone cold liar. Never did. It was a very civil conversation. I've always wanted to approach engagement with the President of the United States in a respectful and responsible way. But there's no working with the president. There's only working for him. And I will never work for Donald Trump.
Did you mention it all to him in that phone call? In fact,
wow. Seriously? Wow. Meanwhile, yesterday, Trump tried to claim that he spoke to Newsom about deploying the National Guard, as we know from the last clip that I just showed you. This isn't true. Play that clip.
It could have gotten much worse. You have an incompetent governor. Just take a look at the train stations that he's building. Like 20 times over budget. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. So I did call him the other night. I said, look, you got to take care of this. Otherwise, I'm sending in the troops. That's what we did. Thank you very much. You have a question for Marco? Question for Marco?
Yeah, Marco. Why are you smiling like an idiot? By the way, Trump is absolutely lying. He's not going to have let Newsom know, because if he let Newsom know, there's a possibility Newsom can actually stop it. Who knows? Meanwhile, Trump threatened that if California officials stand in his way, say again, we're seeing once again, it's my way, the highway, the authoritarianism. You stand in my way, you could face charges. Play that clip.
California officials could face federal charges if they stand in the way of the deportation. Something that Poland may have suggested.
If they stand in the way of law and order, yeah, they will face charges. Thank you very much.
Again, right back to that tough guy attitude. Now, Trump made a truly concerning comment saying, this is what he said, here's the quote, "When they spit, we hit." Which seems like Eerily similar to, remember, the historically problematic phrase that he had earlier, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, which Trump used during the George Floyd protests? Play that clip.
Do you foresee those protests spreading to other cities, Chicago, New York, for example, in the next few days?
Yes, we're going to be watching it very closely. And when they spit at people, you know, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military, which they do as a common thing. They get up to them this far away, and then they start spitting in their face. That happens, they get hit very hard. What are the rules of engagement?
I mean, again, it makes perfect sense, right? Somebody spits, you smash them in the face with a baton, right? And I guess if they cough on you, maybe you shoot them just in the ankle. The last clip that I want to show you is Senator Chris Murphy talking about how this is all a distraction.
Can also be true that everything that's happened in the last 7 days between the fight with Elon Musk and now the deployment of the National Guard is probably also a distraction from the main story, which is that right now Donald Trump is trying to pass probably the most unpopular piece of legislation that he will attempt to move through Congress in his first term. He's going to throw 15 million people off their health care in order to fund a massive tax cut for the wealthy. It's going to add $2 trillion to our deficit. We're probably going to head into a recession. And so I do also think he's probably doing everything he can to try to get the entire political world to be talking about anything other than a piece of legislation that's going to fundamentally change this country. So, yeah, we have to point out the danger of what he's proposing to do in Los Angeles while also keeping our eye on the ball, which is a bill that's going to transform our economy and ruin a lot of lives.
Well, clearly, Senator Murphy there read my Substack, which went out at 8 o'clock this morning, but I talked about it last night on MSNBC primetime.
Why is it that this is happening right now? What's the reason that Donald Trump put out these 2,000 National Guardsmen? It's not because he's concerned about signs. It's not concerning, remember what they had during Trump's rallies, mass deportation now, same sort of signs that we have here. It's to distract you and the rest of the media from what's going on with the fights with Elon Musk, where he was losing that fight, where 180 million people were following Elon Musk. This is just a sideshow.
This is reality TV.
Reality TV. He's the best at it.
I call this one LA Mayhem, right? Trump's reality show. And here's what I wrote. Let me tell you what this really is. This isn't national security. This isn't law and order. This is a pure, unfiltered, weapons-grade reality show distraction. A rerun of the oldest trick in the Trump playbook. Create a crisis, redefine reality, and hope the public is too overwhelmed to notice the man behind the curtain is full of shit. You want to know what Trump doesn't want you talking about? His war with Elon Musk, and more importantly, the legislative time bomb under his so-called big beautiful bill. A bloated bribe to the billionaire base stuffed with tax breaks, work mandates, and billions for his ego wall is heading for a Senate buzzsaw. And why? Because even his own party is quietly plotting to kill it. They're going to kill it because they know it's a disaster. They just don't want to say it out loud until after the primary. This is exactly what I said, Chris Murphy. Thank you for at least parroting what I'm saying, because again, knowing Trump as well as I do,